Okay, I think we can now start. Thank you for joining us today. I believe it's good morning, good afternoon for some of you. In Japan, it's 4 p.m. It's getting a little bit dark now, and it's very cold here in Tokyo. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. Today, we will mainly go over our graduate programs that are offered in English. So let me first briefly go over our university. Tokyo University of Foreign Studies is located in Tokyo, the capital of Japan, about 30 minutes of a train ride from downtown Tokyo, in a very quiet residential area. As you can see from the photos here, you can experience the beautiful 4 seasons in Japan. We are just about this season in fall. Hopefully it won't snow that much this year, but it's the weather is getting colder every day. As our title shows, we specialize in foreign studies, meaning humanities and social sciences. Unfortunately, we do not cover science-related fields such as IT, mechanics, architectures are not covered at this university. As a university specializes in foreign studies, the number of languages taught at this university reaches 79. Among the 79 are so-called major languages, which the students of this university study as their major. As you can see here, Arabic, Persian, and Turkish are included in these 28 major languages, which means that once you come to this university, you will be meeting with Japanese students who are studying your language, your history, and your culture. Currently, we have several students from your region as listed here. We also have partnership with each of the institutions in your countries. Many of the students listed here are among the so-called Peace and Conflict Studies course, which we will go over today. And today we have 2 students from Peace and Conflict Studies course to share their experience with you today. As I mentioned, today we will go over mainly the 2 graduate programs. One is the Peace and Conflict Studies course, and another is the Joint Doctoral Program for Sustainability Research. Both of these programs are offered in English. We do have some other graduate programs, but for the master's program, other programs do require high Japanese proficiency. When you consider studying abroad, expense is a very big issue that you need to consider. As a national university, our academic fees are relatively low compared with the private universities in Japan. As for the living expense, as I mentioned before, we are located in a rather suburb of Tokyo, meaning that the rent is relatively low compared with downtown Tokyo. And we are very quiet and safe environment. I have put here one of the example of the student living in a private apartment near the campus. The rent is about 50,000 yen per month. And the food, it really depends on the students, but the average should be around 35,000 yen. One point that I need to mention here is this internet and phone expense. Due to the COVID-19, some of the classes are still held online. Although we have resumed many of the in-person classes, still some classes are held online. And the students would like to attend these online classes from home. They can actually attend the online classes on campus as well, since we have the so-called Zoom classrooms within this campus, so that the students can also attend the Zoom classes within the campus as well. But in Japan, internet does not come automatically. You have to enter a certain contract in order to be able to use the Wi-Fi and the internet at home. And that contract is usually somewhere around 3,500 yen to 4,000 yen per month. So this includes those internet fees as well. So assuming the expense of this amount, probably you are also seeking some financial support. Those students who will be entering as a privately funded student will be able to apply for the tuition exemption and scholarships provided by private foundations. I also need to note that many of the private foundations do require Japanese proficiency, meaning that you need to prepare your scholarship applications in Japanese and have the interview in Japanese as well. Some private foundations do have some eligibility requirements, such as age, nationalities, and mostly high academic performance. If you're interested in studying in Japan under the Japanese government scholarship, one option is the embassy recommendation. For the details, we recommend you to contact the Japanese embassy in your country for the details and its schedule. But for today, the Peace and Conflict Studies course comes with a specific Japanese government scholarship, which you may apply for the scholarship and the program at the same time. We will go over in details soon. As for this university, we do have the accommodation, the on-campus dormitory. However, the number is limited, and we have to say that it is not guaranteed, and there is a limitation on the residence duration. This is the reason why I mentioned before about the expense and gave you the example of a student who is living in a private apartment near the campus. As we are located in a relatively residential area, the difference of amount in the dormitory and the private apartment is not that large. And I do believe that the students are enjoying living in the private apartment near the campus. Today, one of the students are living at one of the international residences downtown Tokyo, and one student is living close by. Maybe you can compare their experience to get to know how it is living outside the campus. Those who are seeking jobs after graduating from this university will be able to use the so-called Global Career Center. Here we have a counselor specializes in international students job hunting, providing one-to-one counseling, checking their resumes, and preparing for the interview. Let me also add that we have a prayer space within the building that most of the classes are being held, so that the students can stop by in between the classes for the prayers. That is my brief explanation about the university itself. Now, let me change my screen to one of the graduate programs. Okay, just hold on a second. Okay. Now, let me go into the details of the Peace and Conflict Studies course. It is a 2-year master's program that are offered all in English, meaning that the students will be attending the classes that are offered in English, write their master's thesis in English, and defend it in English as well. The title of the degree granted upon completion is Master of Arts in International Studies. We are relatively small in size, accepting between 10 to 12 students per year. But the students come from diverse backgrounds, I will go into the nationalities of our current students later, but you are probably wondering who would be suited for this program. If you're seeking a career in the field of peace and conflict, I believe this will be a best fit for you. If you have some background experience in the fields related to peace and conflict, such as humanitarian issues, you will find this program very interesting. This program is offered by 3 full-time professors. Professor Yasuyuki Matsunaga, who specializes in conflict and contentious politics, and mainly in the social science theories and methodologies. Professor Kenji Isezaki is more into conflict analysis and DDR, disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. He has actually have some experience in the African countries and Afghanistan as well. Professor Hideaki Shinoda is also into conflict analysis and peace-building policies. He is also very active in projects that are conducted in African countries. One of the points that I would like to mention here about this Peace and Conflict Studies course is that the students will choose their main supervisor. University will not allocate a supervisor for you. Once you enter this program, you will be having an interview with each one of these professors. You will discuss your research plan and your research topic, and you can decide who would be best as your research main supervisor. As I mentioned before, we are relatively small in size, but as you can see here, the students come from various backgrounds. As for the students who entered last October, the students come from Sierra Leone, Brazil, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Egypt, Rwanda, Russia, Sweden, Indonesia, Germany, and Japan. As you can see, the students come from various backgrounds with various experiences. Apart from the academic experience that you will have here, the activities and the collaboration among these various background students is one of the best benefits that you can get by studying at this university. As for the curriculum of Peace and Conflict Studies course, when you first enter this program, you will be having 3 mandatory courses: core seminar, PCS research methodology, and global studies. Why 3? Each one of these are being offered by one of the 3 full-time professors. Through this first semester, you will get to know these professors very well. In case you feel that your main supervisor, you would like to change your main supervisor, you may do so after going through this first semester. And you can revise your supervisor at that moment as well. Apart from these mandatory classes, you will be able to choose from the lectures that are stated here, such as gender and peace, conflict and social change, conflict prevention and global security, Japan's security policy, and conflict resolution, to name a few. When you reach your second year, the class is called Thesis Seminar 1 and Thesis Seminar 2 starts. These thesis seminars are taught by 3 professors that I mentioned. It is a team teaching and also peer teaching, meaning that you will be having a very in-depth discussion regarding your thesis with the teachers and also your classmates. By the end of the second year, you will be submitting a master thesis and you need to defend it in English as well. You are probably wondering what kind of topics the actual students has written in the past. Most cases, the students have chosen a topic that is related to their own country. But some have chosen a topic that is related to Japan, such as the US base issue in Okinawa, or Article 9 or military law in Japan. You may find the full list of the past theses at our website here. And you are now wondering what kind of career you can expect after graduating from this Peace and Conflict Studies course. As you can see here, most of the students who went back to their countries have taken up positions in the governmental offices or international organizations. But I have to say that for the past 5-6 years, many of the students wishes to stay in Japan after graduating from this program. To be honest with you, finding a job in Japan is not easy. And if you wish to work at a field relative to peace and conflict studies, I have to say that the options is very, very low. The students who have decided to stay in Japan to work has chosen to work at a private sector, such as the news agency, or some have taken up positions in the IT-related companies as well. And I have to say that the Japanese proficiency is a must if you wish to stay in Japan. Some students have pursued into the PhD, either at this university or other universities in Japan or other universities abroad. Now, into very important issue of scholarships. Okay. As I mentioned before, this Peace and Conflict Studies course comes with the Japanese government scholarship opportunity. We will recommend to the Ministry of Education 4 applicants with the outstanding result who have applied during the designated period who also meet the eligibility for the MEC scholarship. What are the eligibility as a MEC scholarship? There are some additional eligibilities you need to meet to become the candidate of this scholarship. One of them is that you need to be a nationals of conflict-affected countries. We do not have any fixed definition of what conflict-affected countries are. As long as you can explain through your application that your country has been affected by conflict, we will review your application for this scholarship. The conflict can be conflict within your country or with the neighboring countries or conflicts happening elsewhere in the world. You also need to be a holder of an excellent academic record. There's also an age limit that you need to satisfy. And those who are non-native speakers of English are to submit the proof of English proficiency test. The details can be found in the admission information, which will be announced very soon for our 2022 program. There is another financial support for this Peace and Conflict Studies course. Top 5 students entering this Peace and Conflict Studies course as a privately funded student will be given the opportunity of admission fee exemption and tuition exemption. As for the admission information, as I mentioned soon, our next intake will be for the October 2022. We do expect to announce the 2022 admission information next month, hopefully by mid-December. The application period will run from early January to early May. However, those applying for the PCS course under the Japanese government scholarship, the deadline will be in early February. So please keep that in mind. The interview will be held after you have submitted the application. The date will be announced to you directly. The final result will be announced in end of June 2022. So please check out the details through this link here or through the QR code. Currently, the information for the 2021 program is stated there. It will be updated in December. So as for now, please check out the 2021 information for your reference and start preparing the applications, especially regarding the academic certificates, which you can start gathering at this moment. Now, what you can do to prepare for this program. First of all, please understand this field of Peace and Conflict Studies course. Through our PCS website, you can actually check our syllabus, what kind of classes that we offer, what kind of contents are we covering. So please check that out. If you do not have any experience in the political science field up until now, we do recommend you to get some kind of a background in this field. That is a I highly recommend you to go through some kind of a topic that is related to this field. If you haven't taken the English proficiency test, please do take it soon so that the score will be on time. You will be requested to submit your research proposal. Find a topic of interest, be specific. Don't just mention that I am interested in Peace and Conflict Studies course. That is too broad. It would be best if you have a certain topic that you are really interested in, do some kind of a background research on it, read some literatures so that you can actually state your references in your research proposal as well. If you are still a university student, contact your home university for the next necessary certificates, and check the latest information of what is happening at this program through our Facebook page or our PCS website. We do have a doctoral program. Today, two of the students who are here today are currently in our doctoral program. We did not go through in details for the doctoral program because it is more of an independent research that you are requested to do. So if you're interested in studying at our doctoral program, please contact us at the Global Admissions Office for the details. So thank you very much for listening. This is my part. I would like to now hand over the microphone to Ms. Murai for the Joint Doctoral Program for Sustainability Research. If you come up with any questions, please drop your questions on the chat box so that we can go over your questions after our presentation part. Okay, so Murai-san, please take over the
Thank you, Ishida-san. Hello, everybody. My name is Murai. From now, I'm going to talk about one of the PhD program, Joint Doctoral Program for Sustainability Research. Currently, you must have a strong interest in studying for a master degree in Japan. However, if you consider this program as one of the options after receiving the MA degree, I would be very happy. So please look at the slide. Joint Doctoral Program for Sustainability Research require a minimum of a 3-year study. The degree granted is a Doctor of Philosophy. It is jointly offered by 3 universities. Our university, Tokyo University Foreign Studies, Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology, and University of Electrocommunications, to foster the global human resources who can tackle global issues by combination with the humanities and science. In this program, we provide lecture, seminar, and laboratory works and internships. And lectures, Foundation of Sustainability Research, A&P is provided for the first year. Through these lectures, students acquired the basic knowledge and the analytical method needed in the sustainability research. As seminar and the laboratory works, interdisciplinary seminar and sustainability research advanced practicum are offered during the academic 3 years. Interdisciplinary seminars consist of 3 parts. Number 1, tutorial under 3 professors, 1 each from 3 universities. Number 2, workshops. Number 3, academic literacy provided by 3 universities. And last one, internships. Students are credited at the approach host organization through job experience. The faculty. Currently, the number of the professors serving this program is 12. 3 from TUFS, Professor Takeuchi, specialized in specialized African studies. Professor Nakayama, specialized social thought, mainly German-speaking countries. And Professor Demachi, specialized in international economics. This is an eligibility summary. It goes without saying, a person who obtained a master's degree is eligible. However, what I'd like to emphasize here, there are some exemptions. Under from 2 to 5, a person who has not obtained a master's degree can be eligible. But this is just an eligibility summary. So for more details, please check Admission Information Guide or please contact Global Admission Office. For admission, we are accepting the new student twice a year, in October and April. For April 2022 admission, the applicant period was closed last week. So next intake will be for the October 2022 admission. We will be accepting the application from the late April to early May. And the entrance examination is scheduled for mid-June next year. There are mainly two types of the scholarship available to apply for the sustainability program before accepted by university. One is Mexico, and the other one is JICA. As for now, we have 3 students who joined this program under the JICA SDGs Global Leadership Program. For your reference, I'd like to introduce the procedure how to apply for JICA program. Depending on your home country, you may be applicable. So if you are interested, please check your JICA local office whether you are eligible or not. Nationalities. It's a 3rd year since its establishment. Now we have 31 students, not only Japanese, but also international students, such as Senegalese, Namibian, South African, Gabonese, Iraqi, Pakistani, Mongolian, Chinese, and American. So I'd like to introduce the student voice to the following 3 questions. So what is the strength in this course? Why did you choose this course? And what is your impression after entrance? The most popular answer was diversity. One student replied, the strength is diverse professors and students with plenty of experience in their field. The second most answer was discussion-based classes. Students have at least one opportunity to give a presentation about their research in each semester. Students can deepen their research by receiving the comment from faculty of 3 universities. The third most answer was lectures on both social science and natural science, since this program is offered by 3 universities. Since the Sustainability Development Goal, so-called SDGs, was adopted by the United Nations in 2015, the term sustainability became known to the world. We support students who try to examine the sustainability concept from wider perspectives and bring substantial contributions to our society. In this program, provided by 3 unique universities, students are able to deepen the understanding of the sustainability through the discussion and activity with students as well as professors in different universities. Thank you very much.